in geometry, students need to be able to identify two-dimensional and three-dimensional shapes by their names and by their characteristics. These are the basic shapes students need to be able to identify. What is interesting about geometric shapes is that some shapes can be classified into one or more categories. For example, let's take a look at a square. A square is a polygon because it is a plane figure with straight sides. A square is also a quadrilateral because it has four sides. A square is a parallelogram because its opposite sides are parallel. And it's a rectangle because it has four right angles. And obviously, it's a square because all its sides are equal. Now let's look at a rectangle. A rectangle can be categorized as a polygon, as a quadrilateral, as a parallelogram, and of course, as a rectangle. But it cannot be categorized as a square because it does not have four equal sides. The final example, let's look at a triangle. A triangle can be categorized as a polygon only because it's a plane figure with straight sides. It's not a quadrilateral because it only has three sides, not four. It's not a parallelogram because its sides are not parallel. And it can't be a rectangle or a square. Some polygons that cannot be classified as quadrilaterals because they do not have exactly four sides are given special names. The triangle with three sides, the pentagon with five sides, the hexagon with six sides, and the octagon with eight sides. Now let's take a look at the characteristics of two-dimensional shapes in a bit more detail. For 2D shapes, students should be able to identify the name of the shape. In this case, it's a rectangle. The number of sides. A side is a single segment of a shape. The number of vertices. The vertex is a point at which two sides meet. If the shape has one or more parallel sides are sides that are equal distance apart from each other, but that never meet. In a rectangle, we have two sets of parallel sides. Whether all sides are equal, and in this case they are not, whether the figure has four right angles. You can see the figure does have four right angles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's look at the first shape. It is a quadrilateral. It has four sides. It has four vertices, or the place where two sides meet. No, it doesn't have one set of parallel lines, and it doesn't have two sets of parallel lines. All sides are not equal, and it does not have four right angles. Now let's take a look at the square. The square has four sides, four vertices, not one set of parallel lines, but two. All sides are equal, and yes, it has four right angles. Let's look at the rectangle. Four sides, four vertices, not one set of parallel lines, but two. All sides are not equal, but it does have four right angles. Let's look at the parallelogram. It too has four sides and four vertices. It has two sets of parallel sides. In this case, in this parallelogram, it looks like all sides are equal. But that is not always the case with a parallelogram. And no, it does not have four right angles. Now let's move on to three-dimensional shapes. Students need to be able to identify the following in three-dimensional shapes. The number of faces. That's one of the surfaces of a 3D shape. The number of edges. That's the place where two faces meet. the vertex, or the point at which three or more sides meet in a 3D shape. Number of parallel sides. If we look at this, we can see two sets of parallel sides. And the shape of the face. In this case, the cube, the shape of the face is a square. So let's look at these shapes and choose a few to identify their characteristics. The rectangular prism has 6 faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It has 12 edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It has 8 vertices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the shape of the face is a rectangle. Let's look at the square pyramid. It has 5 faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the bottom is 5. It has 8 edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5 vertices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the shape of one of the faces is really a triangle. Finally, let's look at the sphere. The sphere has 0 faces. It has 0 edges. It has 0 vertices. Because the sphere has no line segments and there is no shape of the face because there is no face. As you can see, learning and being able to identify geometric shapes is an important skill for students to develop.